stuff.
It's live, guys. It's happening.
We're live. How's it going?
What's up?
Welcome to the Peep Show. That's what I called it in the Patreon, at least.
That's correct.
Oh, nice.
Jeremy's getting into the spirit.
So this is December's Peep Show. We've got the whole gang here. And then we'll jump right into your questions for the Sin crew. Jonathan, we'll start with you and go across the room.
Sure. Are we introducing ourselves? Oh, sorry. I'm Jonathan Watkins, writer of all the channels.
Yeah,
on all the channels, I guess.
You and Barrett. No, wait. He's the only one that writes for every single channel.
No, Barrett does.
No, Barrett doesn't write CinemaSins.
Yeah, he does.
Does he?
Yeah. Everybody does.
I contribute. I mean, currently, yeah, everybody's helping out.
It rotates every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I haven't been writing for my rotation. I've just been like editing scripts.
Oh.
That'll work. Didn't realize I was. There you go.
You're good.
That's Jonathan. I'm Jeremy. I do talky things. Go.
He uses his mouth.
Yes.
I'm Barrett. I do
Barrett?
other things that these people do.
He does other things.
I do other things.
And I am Chris Atkinson.
Very nice. And I'm Aaron Dicer, and we are Sin People. I don't know. Whatever.
Sin people.
I was trying to do the boy band thing. I have no idea what's going on. We have an international audience, which this is wonderful. I've heard from Canada, South Africa, Australia, in the Netherlands, all in the chat already.
South Africa. What is it like? Is it like 9 p.m. there?
He says it's dinner time. He says it's dinner time in Cape
Is it
Town.
Wednesday there?
Yeah.
It's the future.
So we are monitoring the Discord chat and the YouTube chat. So if you're watching this in the Patreon link, you need to go to one of those places to actually ask questions in chat. We aren't monitoring necessarily the Patreon comments. So if you want to throw some stuff out, feel free to hop to one of those places. Let's start with this. What is your favorite quote from Elf? This comes from Clever Discord nickname Cliche.
You ain't gonna shit right for a week. Isn't that's Elf, right?
That's what?
Oh, that's from Bad Santa.
Damn.
It's the same movie.
I have not seen that in so long. I am very sad to say.
Same here.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Elf in forever.
Oh my god.
I mean, what the one that you guys always spout out, or the ones that you guys always like to use for outtakes. You sit on a throne of lies.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a pretty good one.
That's a good one.
No,
seriously, the stuff.
That is a good one.
The stuff with Peter Dinklage is great, where he's like, "Oh, he's a grumpy little elf.
Call me Elf.
Call me Elf one more time." And he says, and he starts running, just runs across, and Buddy just stands there like waiting for something.
Look at you. I watch this movie every year. I love it. The simple ones are the ones I end up saying every day. So like when he's accepting all the free pamphlets from people in New York, and he keeps going, "Thank you. Thank you, thank you," because he thinks it's like a good thing. And then one after he burps, where he goes, "Oh my God, did you hear that?" I do that one all the time too. So, there you go.
There's also the guy's like, "What's wrong with you?" And he's like, "I just like to smile. Smiling's my favorite."
Make work your favorite.
This place is like Santa's workshop, except it smells like mushrooms and everybody looks like they want to hurt me.
Yes, that's a good one. I think that one might have even been in the trailer.
It might have been.
This comes from South Africa, from Cape Town.
There you go.
What does a typical CinemaSins week look like for each of you, diving into the process of managing various channels, sins, podcasts, that kind of stuff? Obviously, we can get super detailed with this or be a little more general, but kind of what's a typical week look like for the Sin crew?
You know that section in Forgetting Sarah Marshall where she says, "My God, there was that one time where you wore sweatpants for an entire week," and it cuts to like all 7 days, and like one of them is he's pretending to be Gandalf and says, "You shall not pass." That is a typical Sins week for me.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, the whole week is either you're writing something for a video coming out in the future, you're reviewing something that's coming out next week, or you're reviewing a script for something that's coming out later. Like it seems like constantly, especially these days, it's like, all right, I don't have anything today. And then suddenly somebody will come up with an email like, hey, got this video done. You need to take it. And you're like, all right, we'll do that. So a lot of your time is spent reviewing and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that happens with narration for me a lot, because it was just like a day and a half ago, I got caught up. I was like, all right, I don't have any now. Now there are 4 waiting for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because there are
ends.
so many channels and scripts in development that I never really truly get ahead. But yeah, it's a lot of watching movies and making jokes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not complaining.
I'm not going to complain. we have it pretty nice. Yeah, our week is exactly what you think it is for the most part. It's not like we're out like, I almost said partying with R. Kelly. But I don't know, that would have been a very weird pull.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been.
Yeah.
It would have been.
It's not like
We
we're out
had,
there
I
partying.
mean, we had a chance to party with him. We just didn't.
Not like we're out there partying with
politely
You
declined.
partied with the Maltons.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
that's true.
We did party with the Maltons. We got down at cinema.
That's right.
The writing's the most intensive part, right? Like that's at least for me in my week, that's what takes up. If I've got a script that I'm writing, I can usually depend on like a 5-to-1 ratio. If the movie's 2 hours long, I'm going to spend 8 to 10 hours, combing through it and writing it and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then the reviewing is just everybody giving notes on produced edits, everybody giving notes on produced scripts or whoever's on that script. So yeah, it's just kind of a weekly process on each video.
Yeah, reviewing videos can take up from 30 minutes to an hour sometimes, and then doing a script sometimes can do 30 minutes to an hour, somewhere around there.
Yeah, if you're doing the reviewing. What was the inspiration to start Cinning Movies? Was there a random comment or a forum that made you realize that people love to rip on movies that they love? And at the creation, did you have a subscriber goal? For example, did you think, wow, 1 million subscribers would be awesome? Or did you just think, I'm doing this for myself, this is a me thing, and people will hate me for it, but whatever?
You know what's better than 1 million? 1 billion.
1 billion. 1 million subscribers.
Yes.
I think Mystery Science Theater was a huge inspiration. And then Chris and I worked at the movie theater together and would watch movies late at night and craft jokes because it's just our nature. And years later, when YouTube came around and we were trying to figure out what kind of a channel to create, that was our 3rd idea. And
Yeah.
it took off, and we're not going to complain. We didn't really have a goal. I mean, I guess if we had a goal, it would be that the channel would get big enough that we could quit our jobs. And it did. And everything else is just gravy, and we're super thankful and lucky.
It was technically big enough to quit all our jobs after about 4 months.
Yeah.
But then I hung on to both of mine until about August, just to make sure.
That's a scary thing. I mean, because you don't know.
No, you don't really know
We
until you
didn't.
actually start seeing, money coming in. You're like, is this real?
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Nick says from the YouTube comments, does the Sins crew have any plans to go to any cons in the coming years?
Well, we are going to host our own Sin Week. Sin Week!
Mhm.
E-convention on the interwebs, because it'd be very difficult to get everybody together from South Africa and the Netherlands to come to a con. We don't have anything on the books, but
No.
we have discussed doing another one. The last one we did, I guess, was Wizard World here in Nashville about a year ago. And I don't even think they came to Nashville this year. That con.
No,
I don't think it's a yearly thing. I think they just pick.
But yeah, I
they go.
think no plans, but I think we'll probably show up at one in the next year or two.
But as patrons, as you all are watching this, you'll have access to some of our stuff for Sin Week in March. There is a limited tier for people to actually come on site and enjoy movies with us, go through some panels, some interviews, things like that.
Touch Chris.
You can, everybody touch Chris. Make
Do
sure
I need to put that in the
before you-
actual perks on the Patreon page?
Yeah, that's definitely.
We need to add that on there so that more people will sign up.
But at every tier, you will have access to all kinds of cool stuff. We're going to do 5 Sins videos that week. You're going to have early access
that's
to
good to know.
stuff. It's you'll have access to all the panels and things like that after the fact. So yeah, it'd be really, really fun. This is like one of the most exciting things that we've done in a long time, I think.
And one of the 5 Sins videos will be Naked Lunch.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I'm joking.
It's an all
Requiem for a
It's
Dream.
an all Cronenberg week.
Yeah, Crash.
We got The Fly, and we have Crash. Yeah,
I can
for
think of
sure.
exactly 2 things wrong with that
Yeah,
title.
exactly. So.
Speaking of videos, John asks, what are the chances of sinning Suspiria from 2018?
Holy crap.
Somebody besides me wants to do it.
Only issue
Have you
with
seen it?
anything like Suspiria is the amount of people who've actually seen it. Like I feel like it would do okay. It would be just kind of a we did that. It wouldn't be a big video.
It didn't do like gangbuster box office.
No. But I think most people who have seen it kind of like it. There are obviously people who really hate it, but I don't know. When you're putting in all that work to put up a video, you hope for it to be a big video every time. And we've done a few that we know aren't going to be just because, but I don't know if we'll do that one just because.
And it's long.
It's long too, but
That has nothing to do with
well, I mean, it's always a possibility.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I would be looking for it, though.
I don't know why people don't ask, well, why aren't you doing this 70-minute movie as opposed to the 180-minute?
Yeah.
There are some sins in that movie, though. There's a lot of
Yeah.
discrepancies. I love Suspiria, but there's a lot that bothered me. The fact that I knew that Tilda Swinton in makeup was the male character really bothered me. And I understand that was a choice that they made and everything, but I think it's distracting. We'll talk about Into the Spider-Verse a little bit in the podcast we're about to do. But there were certain things about that caused me not to love it. So, yeah, it would be fun. Like Chris said, maybe not going to do it, but there's definitely material there.
Oh, for sure.
Tessa from the Netherlands, who has corrected your pronunciation of different names.
Verhoeven.
Vomka!
Yes.
I mean, you're not Vomka. I'm just saying.
Asks for either your best, worst, or underrated holiday movie. So, since we're in the holiday movie season, you can either do best, worst, or underrated or underseen.
I'm pretty ready to go on record with Muppet Christmas Carol being the best.
I agree with that, actually.
As
my
far
favorite.
as the worst, I might make it that, in terms of like, everybody knows this movie, it might be that Ron Howard Grinch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
It is
bad.
really awful.
The new Grinch isn't good either.
Is it Ben Affleck in Surviving Christmas?
Yes, and that's been on all the goddamn time.
Oh,
these
not only
days.
then you also have
And I
reindeer
find
games.
myself watching it, forgetting how bad it is because it's got a bunch of good people in it. Gandolfini and fucking Home Alone mom.
Oh, Catherine
Catherine
O'Hara.
There was a
O'Hara.
lot of stuff around that time. Christmas with the Cranks was around that time.
Christmas
That's
with the
really
Cranks.
bad.
Christmas with the Cranks is my underrated for sure. It is hilarious. It is hilarious. I don't want to like it, but it's hilarious. But yeah, Surviving Christmas is a hot piece of hot garbage.
Fred Claus.
Oh
I haven't
yeah,
seen that. That's bad.
that's with Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, it's Vince Vaughn. Yeah, those are all horrible.
What's that one with Dana Carvey and Nicolas Cage, Trapped in Paradise?
Yeah.
Did y'all ever see that one?
I saw
a
it
little
in the
bit,
theater.
yeah.
I haven't seen it since.
I haven't seen it in probably 10 years, but I remember really enjoying it.
Oh, really?
So that could be an
more than
underseen.
most.
That could be an underseen for
Maybe,
sure.
I don't know. Maybe Office Christmas Party. I know that we rail against that, but maybe that's a little bit underrated. I don't know.
I've seen that movie like a dozen times.
See what I'm saying? like it's one of those that does it. I mean, the T.J. Miller saying "shut the fuck door" is a funny line, man.
The one you guys talked about a couple weeks ago that you had seen, and I've seen, Man Who Came to Dinner, is a great classic film, and it's set around Christmas, right? I think so. It's holiday.
Well, I mean, it's over a period of time.
Yeah.
so-
And the Night Before would be another one
Night
that I put in
Before
that
is-
underrated
yeah.
category. The best for me is Christmas Story and It's a Wonderful Life. I watch those all the time. So.
Yeah, It's Wonderful Life probably
It's a
is
Wonderful
actually my
Life is up
favorite.
there
The
for
Muppet
sure.
Christmas Carol is excellent, and that could even be underseen.
Yeah.
And also, I love Action Christmas, so I love Lethal Weapon and Long Kiss Goodnight and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and of course Die Hard 2.
I came up. We're not going to have this debate here, but I came up with an answer to the Die Hard holiday
Yeah, that's a
movie thing.
weird debate.
Yeah. I'm firmly in the camp that it's not.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I have to explore.
Yeah,
I'm firmly in the camp that I would agree with you.
Yeah.
If I had to choose.
Yeah, I don't.
Mostly, I just don't. I
have a lot of good reasons for it.
It's like the hot dog sandwich thing to me.
Yep.
It's just like it's one of the least important conversations to spend my mind power on.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Your mind power.
My mind power.
Yes. With mind.
Well, and
bullets.
it actually has less Christmas in it than the ones I just talked about. Like
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon has way more Christmas in
Yeah.
it. Long Kiss Goodnight's got Christmas all over
Shane
it.
Black's just obsessed with Christmas.
Oh yeah, even Iron Man 3
Yeah.
is at
Yeah.
Christmas. So
Yeah.
For underrated in the chat, or underseen, I should say, in the chat, somebody mentioned Arthur Christmas.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
great movie.
That movie's awesome, and
It's
it
one of my
has
daughter's
everybody
favorites.
in it.
Okay.
And somebody mentioned Jingle All the Way as
Oh,
well.
of course.
No.
Is Larange watching?
No,
Ron's
No.
not watching.
no.
He's got more important things.
Jingle All the Way. He's definitely watching.
Yeah.
He's the
Whatever
only
that
person
movie's
in the
under.
world that likes that movie.
Yeah.
Zach asks, how relieved are you now that Avengers and Justice League are out because of the constant requests for it? And what is the most requested movie now that those have been done?
Only so much relieved because, like you allude to, there's just going to be some other one that we
What
haven't
is it
done
now?
soon enough. I don't know. It's only been a day. It's only been an hour and a half since Justice League launched.
I have a different take on these things. I have a sense of sadness when they finally come out because there's no more anticipation about them coming out. I will make you fucking wait for 2 years if I have to.
So you're tantric about the videos.
Very much
You
so.
want to prolong the orgasm.
I do.
So that it's super powerful.
Like as Tay Diggs says in Go, I redirects the orgasm. That type of thing. I'm very much about making you wait. I mean, we're waiting for these movies to come out every year. Like these, oh, here's a cliffhanger. Now wait a year. Guess what? I want to do the same thing with videos. I totally get it. Hollywood. I don't like it, but I get it.
Oh man.
Kevin says, a new Addams Family movie. Who would you cast?
Oh my God.
Aren't they making one?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Anya Taylor-Joy
Ooh.
is Wednesday.
Yeah, although
old,
she's too old though.
Fuck you. She looks it dead on.
I mean, at this point, you would look at somebody like who was the girl in Gifted.
Little girl,
Yeah.
what's her name? Grace McKenna.
Yeah. Even though I don't know if she fits it like just by looking at her, I think she could play the role.
Yeah.
God, who would be?
I think someone like Anne Hathaway or something would be a good Morticia. Emma Stone.
Anne Hathaway would be an awesome Morticia.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she already played the White Queen or whatever the hell it was, and
Yeah, that's true.
Here's who they've got so far. There's an Addams Family movie coming out in 2019.
It's animated, I think.
No. Oh, yeah, it's animated. Charlize Theron is Morticia.
That would actually be
Chloe
okay.
Grace is Wednesday.
Okay. Well,
But these are just
maybe
voices.
Anya Taylor-Joy is
I
an
understand
old.
that.
No,
They
I
also
didn't know
embody
Chris
the thing.
Harris.
Oscar Isaac is Gomez.
Oh, I like that.
That is good.
Nick Kroll is Uncle Fester.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I don't know who the boy is.
I want to get like Dick Tracy era Al Pacino makeup going and have him play
Mm-hmm.
the old guy, grandpa guy.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is.
By the way,
Are you
Nick
talking about the
Kroll.
Monsters?
The Monsters.
Are you talking about Grandpa Monster?
Grandpa Monster?
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking of the guy Christopher Lloyd played in the movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
Fester. Sorry.
That's
yes.
who I want
Yeah,
Al Pacino
gotcha.
to play
Mhm.
with lots of makeup.
By the way, Pugsley is voiced by Finn Wolfhard from It and Stranger Things.
Wow.
So I think that's actually that would
Pugsley,
be maybe
though,
who I would cast in all this stuff.
Actually, that kid from It, though, that played Ben.
Oh yeah,
I could see him as
he'd be
Pugsley.
great. He's so good in that movie. He may be the best.
And
thing about that
actually,
movie.
she could be. I can't remember her name from It. She'd be a good.
Oh, the
Wednesday.
red.
Yeah.
Sophia Lewis.
I mean, she can.
Oh, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Better
she'd be a
than-
good Wednesday.
Yeah, Sophia Lewis.
I for some reason I'm thinking of Clooney playing the dad.
That'd be great too. That'd be great.
Like I can't think of what's the name of the dad?
Gomez.
Gomez. That's right.
Gomez.
Which Raul Julia was perfect.
Yeah, Raul Julia was amazing, but and for some reason Clooney hamming it up in that role seems like it would be fun.
And those movies are fun, but they're not great. I mean, that would actually be one I wouldn't.
The first Addams Family's good. That Addams Family Values is kind of like excess.
It is, but I can.
Oh, you know who could do it? Skyfall villain.
Javier Bardem.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Jackson asks, you often say that The Dark Knight Rises is not as good as it could be because of studio influence. What would make it better?
Less studio influence.
But specifically, what does that mean? I think is what Jackson.
Am I the only one here that doesn't like it? Like
I don't like it.
I know because you like it okay, right?
I like it okay. Yeah, I think it's got especially that fight with him and Bane halfway through the movie in the sewers. I think is really well done. It's got too much going. It's the same as Spider-Man 3.
All over the place.
You need to cut like 40 minutes of it.
Take one or two storylines and cut it completely out.
Is the stuff that
I would take Joseph Gordon-Levitt out.
Is the stuff that we talk about in Dark Knight Rises with were they planning really to put Joker back in?
I don't know that that's ever been proven.
Like I don't think it has either. But every time I hear about it, there's two thoughts that go into my head. One, I don't know if the movie is as successful repeating the same villain from the last one. But then again, it still might be a better movie. So I don't know. I'm torn on that. Whenever I hear that rumor, I'm like, it'd be kind of cool, I guess, to have Joker back. But
that's always been my assumption, that his performance was so electric that even if it was heavily studio interfered, they would be saying, we got to get Heath Ledger back for the next one. And then you could have done this cool like Arkham Breakout thing where he orchestrates a handful of other lesser villains for Batman to fight. And you kind of get into what the video games have done with Arkham Asylum and all that.
Well, I believe that's kind of what Ben Affleck's like the script they're not going to use. I think that's kind of what that was.
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, just like you were alluding to, Spider-Man 3. They have just too much going on. There's too many things happening all at once, too many characters to introduce. Just give me one guy and then have his plan and then Batman thwart it. I don't need any more, I like looking at Marion Cotillard, but she could have left that.
I didn't need her character. I don't think Anne Hathaway and Catwoman need to be in this movie.
Nope.
Like you said, Joseph Gordon-Levitt doesn't need to be in this. Matthew Modine doesn't need to be in this movie.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. And Hardy's good.
Hey, I know we're chasing after this guy who just robbed a bunch of stuff, but let's get Batman.
Yes, there you go. Over the top. It's just ridiculous.
But Hardy's actually good. I mean, he's not Hardy, Tom Hardy.
Oh,
he's good in that
he's
role.
fine.
If you just have Batman.
Will we ever get, this is from the Discord chat, will we ever get live editing streams? So like a Twitch stream of one of us doing the editing of the video and talking, to fans while editing the video. There are a lot of these things on Twitch, so I know where this is coming from. But.
Yeah, I don't know how interesting that is.
I don't either.
I mean, I guess if we performed while we did it, I mean.
Have you checked out? I mean, I'm assuming you've never seen any of those streams on Twitch, but they aren't performance at all. It really is just somebody doing their job, and there's hundreds of people watching them, commenting about, that edit, or artists will do this a lot of times. They'll draw something and.
Okay, I think it's an interesting idea, and I don't ever want anyone to watch me edit live because all they would do is make fun of all the stupid ways I have Jeremy hacked Adobe Premiere and I use it wrong. And everybody would be constantly going, you're supposed to use this tool for that. Or why did you use that tool? That took 3 extra clicks. And I'd be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
So I guess the answer is if anybody does it, it will probably be me. Because
I would love
to have those
like a Dicer
tools and tricks. I'd be like, thank you.
That's a great idea.
So yeah, it's certainly not in the plans, but I'd be open to something like that down the road.
Video early in a weird, strange way, but then you would also be seeing the video several other times in different states and everything. And I mean, I guess it would be interesting for some, but I don't know.
I'll tell you what, it also drives my wife out of the room to the point where I just have to wear headphones now because I don't have my office doesn't have a door. Like the noise that it makes when I edit, because I'm scrubbing back over footage. Sometimes I'm looking for a specific individual frame out of 24, and like just that drives her up the wall, whereas I just don't even hear it.
Well, there's that, and then listening to the same thing over and over again.
Right.
Yeah.
Or it's like the line of dialogue, then the line of dialogue, then cut it, then the line of dialogue. Yeah.
But if people would be interested, I'd be open to experimenting.
Sure. Never
Yeah.
seen that.
Something we can talk about at least.
Yeah.
This is a question about Christmas movies again. Actually, technically not about Christmas movies. Christmas movies are super common, but what are your other favorite holiday movies that aren't Christmas? Are there Hanukkah movies you like, New Year's, Easter? And, what's your favorite non-Christmas holiday movie?
Oh, man.
There's this movie I saw about Arbor Day.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I mean, the answer is Groundhog's Day, right? Like, that's the answer.
That's a good answer.
That is a good answer.
That's a great answer.
There's obviously a lot to pick from Halloween.
Yeah, I was kind of trying to avoid Halloween.
But yeah, I mean, you've got like Born on the 4th of July.
Yes. Such a great celebration.
Every year I watch Tom Cruise cry about having no legs.
Exactly, and no penis.
Who's gonna whoop me now?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, when he's like lamenting to his parents, so people say that it's wrong to play with your penis. I wish I had one. That right there gets me into the mood. I go out and shoot fireworks immediately
While playing with your penis.
Play with penis. You have to use a modesty cover when you go outside.
Oh my god.
Jonathan didn't find that funny at all.
Oh no, I did. I was laughing earlier.
He's just like, fuck it,
Barrett's a big fan of the David Boreanaz classic Valentine. So
what's funny is that I thought about making a joke about that movie, and then you just pulled that out of your ass.
So sorry.
Well, it's like a telepathic link.
That's a shitty movie, man.
Oh,
it's not Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's.
Yeah, it's just Valentine. Yeah.
Katherine Heigl shows up and for 20 minutes or 15 minutes.
I think she's the first.
Yeah, she's the first.
Spoiler alert.
No, she's the first to die, and it's like, oh, this was before Katherine Heigl had this sort of like, I don't know, weird stigma about her. Like, people don't like Katherine Heigl for some reason.
It's really weird to think there was a movie that David Boreanaz and Denise Richards were like the biggest stars.
Oh yeah. But I remember Katherine Heigl showing up. I was like, damn, Katherine Heigl's amazing.
Yeah.
She's hot in everything that she does.
I think opening day should be a holiday. I watch Major League every year right around opening day.
Yeah.
Opening day.
I can't think of it. Like, Thanksgiving doesn't have very many good movies. Like, it has like a couple
for
of
the holidays
okay.
is okay.
Yeah, it has a couple of
I'd say
okay
that forever,
ones.
though.
And then those things like New Year's Day and Valentine's Day and all those romantic comedy.
I think it's Born on the 4th of July.
Yeah. I mean, that's the clear winner. It's the clear winner.
All right, we are coming up against the end of our monthly half hour together. One more question we'll get in has to do with the Best Picture nominations. Do you think Black Panther is a guaranteed Best Picture nomination?
Black Panther?
I've seen a lot of people predicting that. I didn't think about it.
Well, I do now that so many other groups have nominated it for Best Picture, but I don't think it really needs to be there.
But I mean, this is the reason why they did the 10 nominations is for movies like that to get in. So it will, and whether that's a good debate as to whether it deserves it or not.
It's on the line.
Yeah.
Is it better?
It's not currently in my personal top 10, but we're talking about, overall Oscars. And
is Black Panther a better superhero movie than Infinity War?
Yes. Yes.
Well, it's certainly.
I think so.
In 10 years, people are going to give me
pedigree.
credit for being the first to say yes.
But Infinity War is not going to get nominated.
It has a better pedigree, I think, than Infinity War. You've got a director who's been nominated before. You've got, or has, done movies that have been nominated for different things, and actors who are, looking to be nominated for things. So Infinity War isn't even kind of on the awards radar in that way.
I think it's definitely going to get nominated. By the way, there's
Black Panther.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it.
I just hadn't thought about it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it. By the way, as an aside, Aaron, have you seen Vice?
I have. Yeah.
Okay. Are you in the camp of it's terrible?
No, I loved it. I think
okay, because
there's been some backlash.
I was reading Twitter, and the thing about Twitter is when it's trending, is like you don't really know whether or not this is reflective of everybody,
right,
or not. You'll just see a string of negative.
Yeah.
Like I actually saw 5 negatives in a row, basically saying this is the worst movie of the year, and then one right after that going, this was the best movie of the year. And then like a few more negatives, and then a positive here.
Well, it's at like 62 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's divisive.
Is it divisive because they're treating Cheney as a hero, or not villainous enough, or?
Well, it could be divisive because of the political slant. It has, without spoiling anything, it has possibly my favorite post-credit scene of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And you wouldn't think a movie like Vice would have a post-credit scene. But it's because the post-credit scene deals with the idea of political bias and slant in an interesting way, and it's meta, and I always love meta stuff too. But I think Adam McKay is like, he has defined a type of movie with Vice, and with the 1-2 punch of what was the one that just
Big Short?
Yeah, The Big Short and Vice. He's creating this weird meta drama. It's like we've seen plenty of meta comedies, but he's doing a meta drama thing that is really interesting and fascinating to me. And this might be Christian Bale's best performance I've ever seen. He blew me away.
Even better than Newsies?
Well, you've got Swing Kids, you've got Newsies. I understand there's some others, but
people say it's the worst. I haven't seen it, but I cannot imagine that's.
No, I can't either.
I mean, it's like, have you seen Sherlock Gnomes?
Yeah, right. Sherlock Gnomes has got to be in the discussion, right?
Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah.
God.
But yeah, I always realize that's hyperbole as soon as I see it, because when you compare it to all the other just trash that comes out in a given year, it can't possibly be. Even if they got everything wrong about Dick Cheney's life, it can't be the worst movie.
Right. Well, and just for the simple fact, it's going to function as an actual film, whereas there were films that didn't.
Yeah.
It's going to be a quality production, even if you don't necessarily enjoy the story. Like Wrinkle in Time is like not even a film. Like it seriously is not a film. And that's what I always don't understand. I get that people they're pissed off by it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And that's just immediate reaction. Oh, that's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Right.
He's Darth Vader in this movie. It's definitely has an opinion. It's definitely not Dick Cheney the hero. It's Dick Cheney the villain. So so maybe that's part of it. I don't know. But as a movie, man, I was blown away by it. So
awesome.
So I enjoyed it. Well, we have reached our half hour. You guys have any final words? Any thank yous to the members? Anything you guys want to shout out before we finish?
Boys have a penis and girls have a vagina.
That's right. In other words, thank you.
I mean, yes, thank you. That's what I meant to say. I just got my brain to my mouth.
Right. You have to learn how to translate Jeremy's words.
Definitely.
But no, thank you very much for coming out today. I know that there might have been a mix-up on the date for some people. I think we put the 19th down, but even though we said, did it say Tuesday the 19th?
No, well, what it was is just when this actual video on YouTube, the date that it went live was put as the 19th.
I see.
So it
wasn't like they were seeing this they weren't seeing this for like 2 weeks and like, okay, I got the 19th.
Right.
That's my favorite thing about YouTube, by the way, is that they're too stupid to give me 2 dates. Uploaded on and published on. They just give me the 1 date. And today I was looking at Infinity War's numbers and I was trying to figure out how long it had been up instead of just realizing, oh, Tuesday, it's been a week. I'm looking at it and it was like giving me a date that was 14 days ago. And I was like, well, you bastards, give me 2 dates.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But no, thanks for joining us and watching us and everything, caring enough to listen to what we have to say.
Yeah.
That's really exciting for everybody.
We'll do it again next month.
Thanks for being members. Thanks for supporting. And we love hearing your ideas, like the live stream idea, any other ideas you have for how we can give you cool stuff. We want to make sure that we're, that we're paying attention and we're listening and want to interact. So yeah, good times.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Sometime.
You have to click that button.
Yeah, there is a button.